Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay, and today FFG has told us something that we knew was coming, but we've now got it like official. And those two things for Star Wars Legion are the fact that we're getting a silhouette for line of sight and cover, etc. And more importantly for me is the demise, the eradication, the utter destroyability. I don't know, I don't make any sense. Basically, strength of schedule is gone, and I'm very happy about it. Now, its replacement is something called Margin of Victory, which we will talk in more detail. It's not quite what I expected, and I haven't fully digested what it means or how it will actually play out, so don't hate me. But yeah, we'll talk about it right now. If at the end of this video, like the video, press like, and if you're not subscribed, press subscribe, that really does help. But let's do it. I like to do it. Let's do it. Oh, this is not what I wanted to start on. We wanted to start on this. So this came out today, and you can see, well, this is it. This is the silhouette that we were talking about. Now, just to confirm that the orangey yellowy bit of this silhouette is something to just grip the template. It's not actually, doesn't count. It's essentially the rectangle that counts. Now, it is exactly the width of the trooper base. Now, it only applies to troopers. If they have a notch base, then it's something, they just use the old style of line of sight. And the hash mark, whatever you want to call it, is what you can use to determine your line of sight, so the line of sight from you, which is very good because if you're a crouch sniper and you can't see over a wall, well, now you just get to stand up and use the hash to shoot. Yeah, it counts for all line of sight, cover, etc., whatever, you know what I mean. Whether or not you can see the miniature, perfect, fine. I mean, I have no qualms with that. It would have been nice, obviously, if they could have foreseen that they wanted this and put it in the core set some 2 years ago, but it doesn't really matter because it would have been nice to have like a little plastic version of this, which I think might come. Maybe they'll do it in an event or whatever, but maybe they could give it to everybody so everybody's got one at an event. That'd be quite cool. So basically, yeah, it's good for, you don't have to worry now if you're going to give Grievous a billion arms or your lightsaber's going to stick out a little bit. There was one game, I've mentioned this a few times, it was in the first event I played, but I literally lost because somebody could just see the tip of Darth Vader's lightsaber. To say I was salty, well, at that point I wasn't really that bothered, but I was just like, okay, that's weird, because I'd literally tried my best to position him as well out of the way, but this means that wouldn't have happened. But water under the bridge. Yeah, so I mean, it's good. Yeah, okay. I think it allows you to have those modelling elements that people like, putting them on flight stands. That's what they've said, like Art Troopers, Conmen, etc. So that's good. People might be a bit annoyed that they have to print it out. Other than that, I can't really see too many downsides. Let me know if you know any downsides. Comments. I will obviously be reading those. And then, strength of schedule's destruction. Yes, we're going to Margin of Victory. Now, something interesting here. Basically, it's the percentage of the total victory points earned during that game for player A or player B. Now, that's not the total percentage victory points that were possible to have been scored. So let's say you've got, I can't even think of it, intercept the transmissions. Obviously, you can score quite a high number there. It doesn't matter, the total number doesn't matter. What actually matters is how many I score and how many you score, and then the percentage of those two combined. So the example they give here is if, there were 5 points scored, and then you do 3 divided by 5, the total, which gives you, it gives you 0.6, but if you times that by 100, it'll give you 60%, but it doesn't really matter. But 0.6 is fine. So, if you got 60%, if you got 3 out of 5, you would have got 60%, and your opponent would have got the other 2, that would make them 40%. So the margin of victory there is 0.2 or whatever the hell they want to do it. But I don't know if they would just, I'm not 100% sure how the difference will work. I don't know if it's just the difference or the total. I didn't properly read all of this, which is pretty embarrassing. I just got excited by that as a concept, and I was like, yeah. So there's a couple of interesting things there. If you defeat all of your opponent's units, then you get 100% and 0% for the loser, no matter what. If you're tied, then you both get an MOV of 50%. That's interesting. I guess even the blue player would still win the round, but you would still get 50%. Apparently, if you wish to concede, you should call a judge, and the players may choose to score the game and determine the MOV as that's the last round. But only if both players do. And if both players do not agree, then the conceding player's MLV for the game is 0%. So I'm not sure why you would ever... I mean, maybe the winner would be like, actually, no, I'm going to win more, so I want to keep going. I guess it's not for the loser, that is it? The loser's not really too bothered. It's for the winner to be like, actually, I was going to get 100 in this, or I was going to get higher percent, so give me more. Don't concede yet. Whereas if you concede, you just be like 0%. It's not perfect, because I sort of like a system where there's no downside to conceding, is what I generally would like. I guess if you're going to concede the game anyway, maybe you're not that bothered about your MOV or whatever. So maybe you just happily give your opponent the 100%. Because you've conceded anyway. Like, what are your chances of making it stop? It's only if you're going to, even if it's a close game, then maybe you should battle it out. If you're like, if it's the second to last round in a 6-game tournament and you're on the top table, maybe you actually do want to battle it out. But, if you don't at the bottom, doesn't really matter. If you don't show up, you lose all your points. If a player receives a bye, they gain an average of their MLV that they have won in all of their other games, which is interesting. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure, and maybe I should have read this, it's a little bit embarrassing, if it's the difference in your MLV or if it's the total of the MLV added up. Sorry, somebody let me know in the comments. I'm not going to be able to read that here, and I can't bother remaking this video. I'm tired. For those of you who don't know, we've just had a new baby girl. Mother and baby fine. Terrain. This is an interesting one. It showed you a nice little example of how much terrain you should have, which I pretty much like. I like to think that maybe I've been a little bit less than that on my battle reports, but a lot of the tournaments I go to do sort of look like that. For 3x3, I mean, it's just fun anyway. I'm not really too fussed, but they look reasonable, and I think they're good examples to have. And then this is where you can actually print off the silhouette, and measuring line of sight to a mini, measuring line of sight from a mini. So like if you're shooting at Luke in this example, you just get to shoot this entire, including the base, entire rectangle. And if you're shooting from him, you can shoot it's from the middle of his base, but from the hash mark. Alright, pretty cool. And I do like the fact that the droids are the target practice. But the 42mm by 27. The 27 is the width of the base, so that's fine. And the 42 is the height. So in theory, you could just print one out. You could just do it on card and be pretty much fine. Although you can just print it and then use it as a template. Fine. Can I very quickly see if the margin of victory is how you determine rounds? Score checking. I can't see it. Just let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know. You'll have probably read that. All in all, the demise of strengths of schedule is something that I have been calling for a very long time, because it's absolute bad. It's just bad. It's shit. Like, it's just no good, right? Because there was too much randomness in that as a gameplay mechanic. Like, you could win all of your games, and I saw this happen. You could win all of your games and not win the tournament because you didn't make the cut, because there were 3 players who would have made the cut. Garbage, right? Now I'm not top tier. It doesn't really bother me as much as it will bother some people, but generally in the games in the tournaments I go to, we play 3 games, and there's like the mid tiers. Just you can literally be 12th or 6th depending on who you played and how well they did. Crap, innit? Whereas this gives you a little bit more. It's like, if you dominate your opponent, you get those margin of victory. Good. It's a decent system. It's nice not to have... A lot of people are worried about going to points, having to count up points. You only really need to do that if it's a draw. It's nice not to do that. I think this is a bit easier. And it still means you need to play for the objectives. The victory tokens, is still how you win. So I think this is a really good compromise. There's nothing here that makes me think this is really bad. As I said, there is always the downside of, if you concede now, you're either possibly giving too much to your opponent in that they're going to get 100%, and you're going to get nothing. But if you're conceding anyway, then the game's probably already over. You could just end it like that is the last round. You could just do that. Both players agree, and if not, then just give the guy 100%. Right, it really doesn't matter. I can't. In my head, I think that's a really good system. I would like to see it played at tournaments a little bit before I can really comment and say, yeah, perfect or whatever. But as of right now, I'm like, I like that. The silhouette thing, no complaints. It just means I wasn't really bothered about the original rule, but now having the freedom to model whatever you want. Yeah, there's some people who really care about modelling. Personally, I'm just using like default poses and not giving a crap, but I can definitely see how some people were concerned about that. Perfect. All in all, I have personally no complaints and I'm very, very happy about it. Let me know your thoughts. Did I miss anything crucial, pivotal, exciting? We'll wait and see. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Goodbye. Oh, very quickly before I go, we're not going to see any tournaments for a little while, which is a bit of a shame. So we'll not really see how this plays out for a while, but it is what it is. It's nice to know that people can play like on TTS or trial games or test games or whatever if they've got friends who are, well, or housemates, flatmates or whatever. It's just nice to have that as an option now. So, yeah, pretty good. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.